Oke, mudah-mudahan sudah bisa terlihat
Sudah, Pak.
dan sudah bisa terdengar.
Is
Tamu kita
here.
sudah hadir, Dr. Gelder.
Yes, I'm here.
Fine. Oh, here you are. Okay.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet
Thanks
you.
a lot for having me.
Okay,
Good morning. I think yes, please. No.
Yeah, we will wait Bella to open the our student course.
Oh, okay. So I need to change my background into a proper one. Well, let's see.
Okay, Bella, are you? Bella is having a little problem with her connection. Bella, wait. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay, since Bella is having trouble with her connection, maybe I will open this student course. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the third student course about Paleo sea level and coastal modeling held by Oceanography study program. My name is Rima Rachmayani, and today I will act as a moderator for this student course. And hopefully Bella will join us soon as Master of Ceremony in this afternoon. So in this beautiful moment, I would like to welcome Dr. Gino, the Gelder from ISterre, University of Grenoble-Alpes, as our lecturer today. And Dr. Irwan Meilano as Dean of Faculty of Earth Sciences and Teknologi, Institut Teknologi Bandung. And in this special afternoon, we will have several agendas. So allow me to read several sequences of our agendas. Committee, please, next to the next slide. Next slide. Okay, so we will have the opening and student course rules. opening speech by the Dean of Faculty of Earth Sciences and Technology. And then we will have early photo session with Pak Irwan in case Pak Irwan has another important agenda to be attended. And then introduction of the speaker, profile by myself, presentation session by the lecturer, of course, Dr. Gino de Gelder. And then after that, we will have Q&A session guided by me, and then closing. So before we move to the next agenda, there are several rules that we need to follow for our today's student course. Komite, can you go back to the previous slide? Yes, so for participant, please change your display name to your agency or university _ name. And then you must turn off the microphone during the presentation. And then it's optional to turn on your camera. And hopefully you can use the virtual background that has been provided. So we can have early photo with Pak Irwan and also Dr. Gino. And during the Q&A session, the participant can use raise hand features for asking the question. And then I will allow the participant to turn on the microphone and ask question. And then the attendance list will be sent via chat box after the presentation session by the lecturer. Okay, so maybe without any further ado, let's step forward to the following agenda. That is opening speech from Pak Dr. Irwan Meilano, the Dean of Faculty of Earth Sciences and Technology, Institut Teknologi Bandung. The time is yours, Pak Irwan.
Oke, selamat sore. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Bapak Ibu sekalian, saudara-saudara sekalian, para peserta acara guest lectures. Terima kasih Ibu Dr. Rima. Ibu Dr. Rima merangkap sebagai koordinator, MC, moderator, segala hal bisa dilaksanakan oleh Ibu Dr. Rima. Good morning, bonjour, Dr. Gelder. Thank you for spending your morning with us. I believe today temperature is very nice in Grenoble, maybe 10 to 12 degrees, a very good timing for cycling. We are honored to be your research collaborators. Today, public lectures will focus on the Paleo sea levels and coastal modelings. And we are very lucky to have Dr. Gelder with us today. He is the expert on the evolutions of large-scale active tectonic system on different spatio-temporal scales. Kuliah umum ini merupakan salah satu dari rangkaian kegiatan dalam program Nusantara, skema riset Kemitraan Dasar 2021, kolaborasi dengan peneliti luar negeri, the University of Nice, dan ISterre Prancis, dan kolaborasi dengan peneliti dalam negeri di Pusat Riset Geoteknologi BRIN dan Pusat Riset Kelautan KKP. This public lecture is one of the series of activities in the Nusantara programs, the 2021 Basic Partnership Research Scheme, collaboration with foreign researchers at the University of Nice and ISterre France, and collaboration with domestic researchers at the Geotechnology Research Center, BRIN, the National Research and Innovation Agency, and the Marine Research Center, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. Dr. Gelder expertise include a particular interest in coastal geomorphology and the way uplifting coastline record both tectonic and climatic processes. This is very interesting. The integrations of onshore with offshore tectonic processes and the long-term paleoseismological record contained within the sedimentary basins. And outside of his professional career, Dr. Gelder also dedicating his time to sportive activities and traveling, such as cycling. His cumulative kilometer is already more than 13,000 kilometers. Very amazing. So without further ado, allow me to open this public lectures. Terima kasih dan selamat mengikuti webinar. Semoga Anda mendapatkan manfaat dari kegiatan siang ini, sore ini. Again, Dr. Gelder, thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Irwan. for the opening speech, and of course for always supporting our program within the Nusantara project. So as I mentioned before, we have to take a photo session with Pak Irwan as a dean, and also Dr. Gino. To the participant, could you open your camera? And our committee will help us to capture this moment. Okay. Okay, I will count to 3. Okay. Okay, committee, get ready to capture this moment. Yes, we will wait for a couple seconds. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, we have 3 pages, so another cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. And the last one. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, thank you, everybody. So the next agenda is my introduction for Gino, actually, but luckily, Pak Irwan has introduced Gino. So I think I don't need to introduce more about Gino. So basically, Gino will introduce us about the Paleo sea level and coastal modeling, as mentioned earlier. So maybe it sounds very interesting from the title, and maybe a bit complex for some of us. So, however, I'm sure Gino will make us easier to understand with his presentation, which about to begin. So let's put an attention on Gino's talk, and you could ask any question to his presentation during Q&A session. To Gino, you have approximately 60 minutes for your presentation. Time is yours, Gino.
Okay, thank you. I will share my screen. Okay, you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, good. Then I'll start. So first of all, yeah, thank you very much for for inviting me here. It's really an honor to give this lecture to you. Thanks also for the introduction. I very much appreciate that as well. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking today about Paleo sea level and coastal modeling. As you could hear from the introduction, I also have an interest in tectonics. But from what I saw, I quickly went through some of the previous lecture. I saw that Dr. Tubagus already went a little bit into the tectonic side. So I'm really going to focus on the sea level side and coastal modeling, which is also something I've been working on over the past years. So just a little overview how today's lecture going to look like. So first of all, there will be a part about Paleo sea level. I'll give a bit of an introduction on the historic context, the main drivers behind sea level changes, and why it is important to look at sea level. Then I'll go into oxygen isotopes in sea level. So oxygen isotopes, that's more or less the classic way in which sea level changes are indirectly recorded. So I'll go a bit into that. Then I'll go into relative sea level indicators, really at the coastlines, what we can see about how past sea levels is recording on the coast. And then I'll go into the modeling part, just basically showing some examples, both of work that I did in that respect, and also some colleagues that I think are interesting to share and tell you about. So, in terms of historic context, it's been known since a very, very long time that either the sea level has been going up and down or the land has been going up and down. So it was really, already very long ago. People realized when going up into the mountains, you would find little shells and fossils that were obviously formed at the seafloor, but now high up in the mountains. So even this is a picture from Mount Everest. And there, like some of the first people who climbed there, John Mallory from New Zealand and all, they were working together with geologists who really were wondering how come at the highest place on Earth we could still find these little fossils that came from the seafloor. So that has really intrigued people for a very long time. Now, the earliest sort of ideas about sea level changes comes from, in fact, from the Holocene. In Holocene, there was an important phase of sea level rise that really the cliff and with shallow marine deposits. So he really described the code of his drawing. on the current north or south pole. So yeah, that gives sort of this barcode, which is often used to for calibration in time for any sequence of sedimentary cores. So that was also important here to really align those peaks at the right polarity reversals. So one link that is very important to make and very interesting is to Milankovic cycles. So Milankovic worked in the 1920s. And basically it was a very important factor to drive ice age cycles. So I also need to remind myself all the time, like what these three exactly are. So the eccentricity is a relatively long cycle, maybe 100,000 years. And this has to do with the distance that the Earth is to the sun, which sort of shifts around a bit, this ellipsoid, this path. Obliquity is sort of the angle at which the Earth is tilted with respect to the sun, which also shifts by a couple of degrees, which has important effects on the solar installation. And thirdly, there's the precession, which is sort of the way that the Earth is wiggling around, while turning around the sun. So this has a shorter. Actually, this is wrong. Precession should be 20,000, and obliquity should have been 40,000 years. So those three factors are really important in that respect. So with this oxygen isotope curves, of course, people started to do is to understand which one of those climate cycles is most important to 1 million years. It is very clearly that this obliquity cycles, the 40,000 year cycles, are very dominant in the oxygen isotope and also probably the sea level signal. This was done by Fourier analysis by looking at all the different frequencies and decomposing them into smaller frequencies. But if you look at the past million years, something dramatically changes, because since then, this eccentricity cycles, these 100,000 year climate cycles, became much more dominant in determining the main oxygen isotope cycles, the sea level cycles. And at this point, we're still not entirely sure, like, what caused this change around 1 million years ago. I think one set of hypotheses is assuming that there was a big change in CO2 that sort of caused a difference in behavior between the size of glaciers and how they were interacting with the land. And suddenly, like in this last period, glaciers became much bigger, and also the fluctuation, the amplitude of changes became much bigger. Another theory which I read about is about regolith, which is sort of a mix of broken ice and sediment and loose rocks, which were covering a large part of, let's say, temperate zones, northern and southern, not far from the ice sheets. And before, they sort of prevented ice sheets from becoming very big, because it was difficult on this sort of unstable terrain to really grow huge ice sheets. So there was this limit, but through time, those regoliths started eroding, and on sort of bare base rock, it was much easier for these